Chapter 15 of Mary Cary, Frequently Martha. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Jan McGillivray. Mary Cary, Frequently Martha, by Kate Langley Bosher. Chapter 15. A Real Wedding.
It looks as if everybody who knows Miss Katherine wants her to be married from their house. Her brothers want her to be married from theirs. Her aunt, Mrs. Powhatan Bloodgood, who lives in Loudoun County, and whose husband is as rich as a real lord, begs her to be married in hers. And everybody in Yorkburg, I mean the coat of arms everybody's, has invited her to have the wedding in their home. But she just smiles and says no to them all. Says she is going to be married from her house, which is the orphan asylum, though the ceremony will be at the church. It's going to be in the morning at 12 o'clock, so they can take the 2 o'clock train for Richmond and go on to New York. Miss Katherine wants it to be quiet, but it can't be quiet. There's nothing on human legs that can use them who won't be at the church to see that wedding take place. Everybody has been paying her a lot of attention of late. It's real strange what a difference a man makes in a marriage, even if he isn't noticed much in person at the time. If he's rich and prominent, everybody is so pleasant and sociable you'd think they were real intimate. If he's just good and poor, few take notice. When Miss Vicky Toones married Mr. Joe Blake, they didn't get hardly any presents. They had a lot of dead relations who used to be rich and haughty, but their living ones are as poor as the people they didn't use to know, and hardly anybody gave them anything handsome. Miss Katherine's presents are just amazing, and my eyes are blistered by the shine of them. I didn't know before such things were in the world. People say Uncle Park has made a lot of money in some mines out west, besides being a doctor, and that he doesn't have to work. But a man who doesn't work hasn't any excuse for living, I heard him tell somebody, and maybe it's so, though I don't know. I don't know anything these days. I'm the shape and size of Mary Cary, but I see and hear so many things I never saw and heard before that I'd like to borrow a dog to see if he knows whether I am myself or somebody else. And another thing I'd like to find out is, how do other people know so much? Mrs. Philip Creekmore has a cousin whose wife's brother lives in the same place Uncle Park does, and Miss Amelia Copeland wrote out there and found out all about him. But it doesn't matter whether she truly knows anything or not. Miss Webb says she is like those fish scientists. Give her one bone, and she can tell you all the rest. She's had a grand time telling more things about Uncle Park than Miss Katherine will ever learn in this world. My dress is finished. I'm to be maiden of honor. There are no bridesmaids. Think of it! Me, Mary Cary, once just flesh and blood mechanical, now a living creature who is to wear a white Swiss dress and a sash with pink rosebuds on it, and walk up the church aisle with my arms full of roses. And magnificent gloriousness, most beautiful of all, every girl in this asylum is to have a white dress and a sash the color she likes best to wear to the wedding. That's my wedding gift to the girls. Uncle Park gave it to me. Miss Katherine's California brother and his wife have come. I don't like them. He looks bored to death, and chews the end of his mustache till you wonder there's any left. As for her, she's the limit. Maybe that's what's the matter with him. She seems to be afraid some of us might touch her, and she stares as if we were figures in a china shop. No more says good morning than if we were. She wears 7 rings on one hand and 4 on another, and rustles so when she walks. She sounds like a churner out of order. If she isn't a Bulgarian born, she's bought herself into being one, for she oozes money. It's the only thing you think of when she's around. You can actually smell it. I think Miss Katherine is sorry they came. She don't say it, of course, but plenty of things don't have to be said. Uncle Park came last night, bringing his best friend and some others. The best one is Dr. Willwood. He's fine. He and I are going to come down the aisle together. I reach up to his elbow, and he says he may put me in his pocket. I wish he would. I know I will be that frightened I'd be glad to get in it. He wants to know all about Yorkburg and the people, and today Miss Bray let me take him all around the town and show him the antiquities. He asked her. I had on the white dress Miss Katherine gave me last summer, and I looked real nice, for I had on my company manners, too. You see, he was from the West and had never been to Virginia before, and when a man comes such a long way, one ought to put on company manners and be extra polite. It wouldn't be right not to. I put mine on, and I guess I did do a lot of talking. I'm by nature a talker, just like I can't help skipping when my heart is happy and nothing hurts. I told him all about the places we came to and about who lived in them, except the Alden house, which the Reagans now possess. When we got there, he stopped in front of it. My, he said, that's a beautiful old place. Whose is it? Some people by the name of Reagan live there, I said. I don't know them. And I started on. I came near forgetting and saying, that is Alden House, where my grandfather used to live, but I remembered in time. I don't acknowledge my grandfather, and I knew somebody else would tell him Uncle Park was born and lived there until he went west. We had a grand time. We stayed out over 4 hours, and I forgot all about dinner. He didn't want to go in when I suddenly remembered and told him I must. And then he said I was going to take dinner with him at the Colonial. He'd asked Miss Bray, and it was all right. And that's what I did. Took dinner with him at the Colonial. I tell you, Mary Martha Cary had what you could truly call a time. And Dr. Willwood said he never had enjoyed a morning in his life like that one. Laugh? I never heard a man laugh so hearty. Half the time I couldn't tell why. I'd be real serious, but he'd look at me and almost die laughing. I bet I said some things I oughtn't, but I don't remember, and I couldn't take them back if I did. It's over. The wedding is over. Everything is after a while in this life, even death. And time is the only thing that keeps on just the same. They're gone. Gone on their bridal tour, and the happiness that's left Yorkburg would run a family for a long life. I wish everybody could have seen that wedding. It's going to be long remembered, for the earth and sky and birds and flowers and trees and sunshine all took part. Everything tried to help, and as for blessings on them, they took away enough for the human race. But now it's over, I feel like my first balloon looked when I stuck a pin in it to see what would happen. I saw. I had a telegram from them today. It said, "We sail at 11 o'clock. Love to all and hearts full for Mary Cary. Uncle Park and Aunt Catherine." Well, she's my aunt now. That's fixed anyhow, and the marriage that fixed it was a beauty. Every bird in Yorkburg was singing, every flower was blooming, and every heart was blessing. And when those 58 orphans walked in, all in white and 2 by 2, every hand was dropping roses. And that is what each girl was wishing. Roses, roses all her life. After the ushers, I came in all alone by myself. That is, my shape did. Mary was really inside the altar looking at me coming up slow and easy, and Martha was ordering me to keep step to the music. All right, I'm doing my best, I was saying to both. And I was.